Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former Kashmir Corps commander, and Lieutenant General Satish Dua, former Kashmir Corps commander. I have two former Kashmir Corps commanders joining me on this special broadcast, and two men who have great experience on ground in Jammu and Kashmir. I've interacted with them while they were co-commanders, and very difficult phase. General Dua, when the terrorist was killed in Anantnag, and General Dhillon, General Tiny Dhillon, when that Pulwama terror attack happened, and when Balakot happened and counter-terror operations were initiated after that in a huge way. General Dua, if I may, even if a Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist here is killed, isn't that like just pruning the branches of the terror tree? There'll be another one, and there'll be many more. What more needs to be done this time for India to send across that message? Enough is enough.
Gaurav, you're right. It's such a sad day. I mean, yesterday, the kind of carnage that we've seen. You are right to say that if you kill a few terrorists, then somebody more will come. His place will be taken by somebody else. However, we can't let the terrorists get away.
Absolutely.
Whenever we have information, we have to act on all the information. And especially now, the hunt is on for all the terrorists, whether they perpetrated the yesterday's carnage or not. So we have to have operations in Pahalgam, around anywhere in Kashmir, South Kashmir, anywhere. So this is the area of Tangmar where this is happening, and it must be brought to fruition. It is closer to Gulmarg, actually.
Yes.
But the point, the question that you raise, and that's the main point. Should it happen? So this is the only operations. I think we cannot be content by doing operations in Pahalgam or around Pahalgam or only in Kashmir. It has to spill over beyond Pahalgam. It has to spill over perhaps beyond Kashmir. If they can kill tourists, which is a low because it has never been done before. Normally, terrorists do not kill tourists or attack tourists because they actually provide livelihood to all the local people.
Yes.
Okay. Having said that, you know, when we lost 18 brave hearts in Uri when I was the Corps commander.
Yes.
Now I'm answering, in response to your question. Mr. Parikar, late Mr. Parikar, the defense minister, landed up that very day.
Yes.
Much against my protestations, actually. So he landed up that very day. He wanted to go to Uri. Uri operation was still on. And right there, the army chief was there, Northern Army commander was there. Right there, he gave permission to launch what is now known as surgical strike. That was a bold response. And this time we see that the home minister landed up that very day. The NSA, the defense minister has been there, and we read between the lines of, in fact, we don't have to read between the lines. The defense minister has very clearly said, हम उनको जिन्होंने इसको अंजाम दिया, उनको तो हम उनके ऊपर तो ऑपरेशन होगा, उनको तो we'll bring them to justice. But we will also, जो पर्दे के पीछे जिन्होंने जो इसको प्लानिंग करते हैं, and the pointer is very clear. Who's perpetrating this?
Absolutely.
It is very clear. And so we have to have a bold response.
Bold response is required right now. And General Dhillon, in your appreciation, I have one co-commander who was with me when the surgical strike happened. I have one co-commander with me when the airstrikes in Balakot happened. So I want to understand from you, yet Pakistan continues to bleed India. So what next? What should India's next response be? Kinetic, non-kinetic, or both and more? General Tiny Dhillon, sir.
Gaurav, good evening to you and good evening to you viewers, as also to good evening to General Dua. And I agree with General Dua's points. And now specifically answering your question, what response? As General Dua said, killing of this terrorist in Kashmir is an ongoing thing. It's not going to get anywhere. This will continue. The army will continue to do this operation. Security forces will continue to do this operation. What is most important is the main players who carried out this. And the main player is the Pakistan army.
Yes.
This operation was carried out with military precision, which only a military person can make a plan like this. No, like you narrated everything. It's an isolated, tourist place. It is away from the roadhead. There's a poor connectivity. And Vice President of USA is in our country. Our Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia. Any big action in Kashmir will hog the limelights and bring Kashmir back to the front burner. And now connect this to what Army Chief of Pakistan said a few days ago.
Yes.
He said Kashmir is a jugular vein for them. And exactly that has happened. He said Hindus and Muslims or Islam are two different people and they cannot be, their Islam is superior and words to that effect. And exactly that happened. The terrorists segregated the Hindus from others and killed them in cold blood. Now you see, this Asif Munir had given this indication that this is how they are going to handle Kashmir. That means this planning was already in the pipeline and he was aware of it. Now coming to what response, as you said. Response has to be very, very tough, big, and at the time and place of own choosing against the Pakistan army.
Against the Pakistan army.
Because it must be there where it hurts, where it pains, and where it bleeds.
Okay.
And it has to be a whole of nation approach. It has to be a whole of nation response. Military option will be part of that whole of nation approach. When I say whole of the nation approach, in addition to the military options, there will be diplomatic options, there will be political options, there will be economic options, and there will be options which we can't discuss on the TV and which can be reignited.
I want to understand when people say that India should relook the Indus Water Treaty, General Dua. What does that mean and what would that do to Pakistan? Because they would perhaps run to some international court, they would run to some international body and they would say for a terror attack, we're trying to starve Pakistan's people, population, agriculture. What does relooking the Indus Water Treaty mean in your appreciation?
Gaurav, for that, I beg your pardon, for that, we have to have two things. One is a resolve or an intent to do that, to use the Indus Water Treaty as an upper riparian strait, to use that as leverage. And second, we have to create capacities.
Yes.
It takes a long time to be able to create capacities that we can use water as leverage. Because dams on such rivers take a long gestation period. Absolutely. And we have to create that ability to be able to do that.
And we anyway have run of the river dams. Yeah, go on, sir.
Yeah, no, but let me tell you, there is a better option.
Yes.
Because in the same Indus Water Treaty, in all the rivers, the upper three rivers, including Indus, we are entitled, India is to get 20%, is 19.58%, approximately 20% of the water share is ours.
Yes.
But do you know that we are unable to actually utilize our 20% itself? If we start utilizing what is within the treaty also, we utilize our 20%, Pakistan's Punjab, the farmer will be up in arms because their crop will then suffocate.
Yes.
Now we need to use that very smartly. And yes, you got a point. If we have to create those capacities, so that we should be able to say that we hold this leverage. If Pakistan can go to such low, and the kind of terror, the killing of civilians, soldiers, mutilating bodies, I mean, what not they've done. So I think you're right. We can create capacities in the long run, but in the short term, we need to at least utilize our own water, which itself will have a telling effect on the Pakistan Punjab farmers.
Okay, so that's point one. Point two, yes, General Dhillon wants to come in because I want to discuss kinetic options and I want to discuss non-kinetic options because Pakistan's military jihad infrastructure must pay, and perhaps in Pakistan's Punjab province, General Dhillon.
Yeah, Gaurav, exactly the point which you made about Indus Water Treaty, and General Dua explained the whole thing. For the benefit of your viewers, I want to explain the geographical aspects of it.
Sir.
The grain of the country in our part of the world is from northeast to southwest.
Yes.
That means the water which starts in Ladakh goes into the Arabian Sea somewhere in the province of Sindh in Pakistan.
Yes.
That means if the upper three rivers, as General Dua is referring to, if we block the water or if we even cut down the water will flow northwest of Pakistani Punjab. And with the grain being northeast to southwest, there's no way they can bring the water of these rivers into the province of Punjab without constructing additional rivers like BRBL and that Bediya Canal.
Yes.
So that is why upper three rivers, if we stop the water, the Punjabi Pakistani Musliman will starve of water and the crops.
Yes.
It is very important in the long term we build capacities to harness that water, which is ours, and bring it to our part of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, and down to Delhi and Western UP and Rajasthan. Therefore, this is the thing which will hurt Pakistan for generations.
Yes.
The Pakistani Punjab will become a desert if we can do this in the long run. And this is a very viable option remaining within the international norms.
Okay.
Also, I thought I will give this additional point of the grain of the country for the benefit of the viewers.
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, water for Pakistan cannot be more important than blood of Indians. And I want to bring in General Raj Shukla, former army commander, somebody who's war-gamed, dealing with Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror for decades. And General, your appreciation, what would options be before the Cabinet Committee on Security today in terms of India's options to send across a message to Pakistan? Terror is no longer acceptable to India.
So, Gaurav, thank you. I have no idea of what the Cabinet Committee on Security is discussing. I simply don't know. But I have a view on the matter. And just let me say what I think could be done or should be done. You see, this is a straight message from General Asif Munir, ISI, and the Pak Army, which is challenging the restoration of normalcy in J&K, restoration of democracy. In fact, it's a challenge to Indian democracy. They have done this in the past and we've responded. Surgical strikes were done when General Dua was the commander. If I remember right, when Tiny Dillon was the GOC 15 Corps, we responded by way of Balakot. And those worked for a while. They worked for a pretty long time. So the point I'm making is that credible military responses work. Now the time is very clear to re-establish military deterrence.
Okay.
And while we must do everything, I mean, I've heard diplomatic options, Indus Water Treaty. I'm no expert in the Indus Water Treaty. But at the moment, the thing that is foremost in my mind is a sophisticated, calibrated military response.
Okay.
Now, what the precise metrics of that response could be, it could be limited, it could stretch across domains. But the message has to go straight to General Asim Munir, his ISI apparatus, the perpetrators behind this, that listen, next time the thought crosses your mind, you think 6 times. Okay. Is it possible to convert this into a military possibility? Very much. Are there risks involved? Certainly. We can de-risk those responses to the extent possible, but I think we have no option. We have to go for it. And just one short point I wish to make.
Go on, sir.
You know, look at the, shall I use this word? I don't know, the stupidity of Pakistani statecraft.
Yes.
If they thought that they will turn the spotlight on Kashmir, they have ended up turning the spotlight on themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
The entirely international community is saying that look at this pariah state on terror, and therefore can we follow it up to another level?
That's the pariah state, but unfortunately
diplomatic
they've done it each time.